tuning in to another episode of the Berardo Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Berardo. Each episode I focus on giving you fun, entertaining content on health, happiness, positivity, and anything else that's important to us humans. If you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram at the Berardo, and don't forget to subscribe to the show by visiting theberardo.com/thepodcast, or just click that little subscribe button wherever you're listening to the podcast. Thanks again, and enjoy the episode.
You're just funny. It's funny, the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how?
Come here though. Yeah, he's crazy, see? Who are you?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Are you ready?
Tony Berardo. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Things are great, man. How are you?
Great and busy. Real busy, which is a good thing. Always a good thing. So,
Yeah,
you
that's awesome.
so you got some new equipment come in.
Yeah, dude. So I got this this new Frameworks boom arm that's like a game changer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it like springs back, and I mean, if you ever want to do a podcast, people listening out there, just don't even fuck around and get a basic boom arm. Just go with the Frameworks, because this thing is like a game changer. I'm gonna sell my other ones. I was gonna keep them,
Yeah.
in case I do like mobile podcast, but now fuck it, I'm just gonna upgrade to these. And then I got this new pod mic from Rode that just kind of hooks right up. But you know what the most wicked thing about Frameworks, which I didn't even know, and they don't really advertise it, I don't think anyway. I didn't like read the description on Amazon, but like the XLR cable, normally you would have to wrap it up, like you probably got yours wrapped up and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Frameworks, it comes with an XLR cord that's built into the
Okay.
pole. So literally, it's just got two. It's got the female and the male sticking out on each side,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't even see the cord. It's in there.
Yeah. So mine
Sick.
Mine has a groove in it, and it's tucked down in there, so you can't see it. And I have it pulled
And
up a
you
little
gotta put
bit
it
to give
in.
it some slack, because I don't like to be that
Yeah.
tight. But it and it has little clamps that's built in, so it's all like, if you wanted it super flat, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Right.
But the only thing I don't like about this one is where the XLR cable hooks up right here.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn it, you can't, like, if you wanted to turn it towards you, you can't. You can
'Cause
turn
it's
it
too
about like
tight?
that. I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me. I love it's sturdy, and it's a good boom
Yeah.
arm. So it's no big deal. But no, yeah, those are good, man. I mean,
Yeah, dude.
stuff.
And I mean, it's just funny because like I don't remember it saying that an XLR came with it. It's because I have like 4
yeah.
XLR cables, but like that's a big selling point because those things are like $20.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's good for
a nice
you,
one.
because it's all one package,
So
and
yeah.
Somebody will get a good deal out of it that wants to start one. So
Yeah, I got a couple buddies that I posted some stuff. I posted some stuff on Facebook Marketplace where I'm gonna get rid of my old condenser mics and a couple tripod stands for the mics, and then of course my boom arms and stuff. So yeah, I got a couple guys that are gonna pick it up. So I'm gonna ship those out today, and that'll be cool because I think now's a good time where if you have the time to do journaling or reading a book or whatever you got to do to like vent
Yep.
your frustrations, especially with the pandemic, and maybe you don't have a spouse and you're just by your home in a studio apartment. I mean, a podcast is a great way to just kind of like look into the camera, and even if you don't post it, it's just a good way to kind of vent and get your shit out. So that's what I told my buddy. I was like, it doesn't have to be about anything, man. Just press record and see what happens.
that's it. And sometimes you just want to talk, and it's like you're talking to somebody. They're not there,
right.
but if you do record it, like you said, you don't have to send it out. Just if you like it, send it. If not, do another one. Who cares? So
Yeah.
it's fun stuff. Sometimes it's just it's nice to BS with people. So, but
That's right.
hey, so you just got done with the fit for February. You do. How long have you been doing that?
I think this was the 3rd year, actually.
How did it go this year?
It went good, man. Yeah, we got one winner that was the most active in it, but it's just a Facebook group that I started, and We don't drink for the whole month of February, which was tough this year, especially being on lockdown.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's pretty much all I did for the last 12 months. And, we count our steps. We want to make sure that we're as active as we can be. So whether you use an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or whatever, but, you track that each day. And then I went a little bit strict this year. I counted my micros and macros. If you follow nutrition, you could look into that. But I did that. And we selected one winner. This guy, Donnie, who was really turned his whole schedule around, worked out with his family and did a lot of cool things. So it's fun. I started off doing it by myself, but then I started this Facebook group and got a few people to join. I got like 25 members or something, nothing crazy, but it's just kind of a good way where we post some motivational stuff. And it's mainly for me to see if I can do it. It's like one of those things where, if you're working out and you normally do like 12 reps for one thing, there might be one day where you're like, let me see if I can do 20 reps.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that, but spread out in a month where I just try to push myself a little bit more. So I was really pleased with the results, like physically, mentally, kind of where my head was at, because I did these little things like waking up in the morning and stretching, which I normally don't do. I would listen to podcasts on the bike. So I usually don't do a stationary bike. That's normally my wife that does that.
Mm-hmm.
But I started doing that every single morning on an empty stomach. And then I would, go to work like at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever. So I'd go on an empty stomach, black cup of coffee right before work, start work around 7, 8 o'clock. And then like around my lunch break, like 12, 1, I would actually do my weights.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go twice a day. So it was great, man. Feel good. I only had a half a glass of wine on March 1st. So I did the whole month, and then I did half it, and I was like, it's okay. I just felt so good with not having booze in my system that it just wasn't.
It's nice to wake up. You don't realize how tired it makes you too in the morning, or it does me. I mean, and I love
tired,
wine, but for one thing, it's good. Like you do it for a month. It's super hard when you're used to something to just flat out stop. No matter what it is, it's hard to stop that. And then you stop it for a month, but then you realize, not having alcohol is really good for you. Even though you drink a little bit, it doesn't mean it's terrible for you. I'm not saying that. It's just that when you realize, when you completely get it out of your system, for the most part, I guess it's gone after a month. You realize how good it
usually
is.
Yeah, about 20 to 24 days.
Yeah.
And that's with anything, not just with booze, but if you're trying to cut out sugar or carbs in your diet, you usually want to give yourself about 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true, man. Cause I mean, we don't think about it because alcohol is listen, alcohol is great. It is. It's a conversational lubricant.
It is.
It gets you talking. Especially when it's truth serum. You're with a group of friends. It's just it's the aesthetics of it. It's like going to a bar and not ordering wings. You know what I mean? Like there's something about the environment that you're in when you're with friends and you just kind of want to drink and you want to have bar food and fries, and like there's that environment that you get, and it's kind of hard to get out of that. But once you do, you realize, how poisonous those artificial foods are, and of course alcohol. So that's why I do it every February, because I mean, I should be doing it more. I'm going to try to get in the habit of like doing it every quarter, because this year in particular, because I went a little bit more harder, like with my eating and my regimen, like counting my calories, like I went legit. And I don't know if you saw my before and after pictures, but my before, like I'm in decent shape, definitely not the best shape I could be in, but especially with my Crohn's, I had a Crohn's attack like third week of January. So I was in really bad shape, like just malnourished, and I just didn't feel good. I was on a horrible eating regimen because I had to kind of like eat soups the last month of January and crackers and some shit. But my wife's like, yeah, you're in great shape. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. But I've been in way better shape. So I really went hard for February. And then at the end of February, I was like, oh, so this is what I could look like.
Yeah.
Like that's what's crazy when you really go hard with it. You're like, your body is capable of looking and feeling, way better. Because we're, you and I were in our 30s, right? So for 15 years, realistically, we've been drinking booze.
Yeah, it's
So
yeah, it's. I used to go really hard. I don't hardly drink anything anymore. Every now and then a glass of wine. I had a beer last night on a podcast just for a cheers, but it was a Corona Light. So, but
There you go.
To that point, I think people use that as an excuse to drink too. It's like, oh, I'll drink light beer and I'll be fine, even though there's a shit ton of calories in it. But look, drinking a few glasses of wine isn't bad for you, but yeah, if you want to try and really dry out and get your body in really, really good shape, I mean, you cut that stuff out. You cut out the processed food. You cut out the sugars. And to be honest with you, probably if somebody who eats sweets and does and drinks alcohol, probably cutting out the sweets is harder than cutting out the alcohol.
For sure.
I don't know what it's. I'm not a scientist and all that kind of crap, but I know that I don't know what's in it, but something about it. Because I'm not a big sweet eater. My wife will listen to this and probably argue with me on that. I do eat sweets, but it's hard to put them away. And if they're around, I'm going to eat them. If they're not around, I don't crave them. It's not like I go say, I got to go buy me, a cake. I can do without it. But
if it's there,
I'm going to eat it. But I will tell you, the best shape I've ever been in was probably at the beginning of my monster career. And I cut all that out for like a year. No sweets, almost no bread. And bread's my favorite food probably. And I cut out almost all bread. I think that right there, just the bread alone, probably made the biggest difference in and not only the way I felt, but like, if you want to get the 6-pack abs and all that, which I had back then, you can't eat bread and flour and all that stuff. You just can't. I mean, not in the amounts that I eat, that type of stuff. So
that's right. You made me think of this. So, and also for the whole month of February, not only did I cut out, sugar completely, but we also did this thing where I didn't want to go out because I knew once I go out to dinner, what happens when you go to a restaurant, you end up getting like, what you want to order, and you end up, before you even order your meal, you want those cool appetizers that you haven't tried yet. And then right when you order the appetizers, they bring out a basket of bread and, you and the wife horse down that bread. That's what we always do. And, they get the butter and like, it's just not, it's so funny that we fill ourselves up with that bread.
Yeah.
And then we end up horsing that. Like you would never do that at home. You would never bake yourself a loaf of bread and then also have appetizers and then also have a meal and also have dessert. But it's like we were saying before, like there's something about the aesthetics about being at a restaurant that
it's easy.
All your inhibitions go out the door.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody's bringing it to you,
That's right.
If you feel like if you had people cooking for you at home and you could say, babe, for tonight, we want a loaf of bread and then I want X, Y, and Z for appetizers, you'd do it. But if you have to make everything yourself, chances are, like you said, you're just like last night, was it last night or the night before? It was yesterday afternoon. My wife made 2 different types of pasta, which was phenomenal. But that's all we had. We had pasta. Now we do have, tomato basil bread that I get from Panera. Shout out. So, and by the way, just a caveat to that, if you buy bread and you want a reasonable price bread, get the loaf and have them cut it at Panera because it's fresh. And you can get a loaf of bread for like $5 and something, but you're getting the whole loaf. It's a double loaf. So when they cut it, like one piece will actually make one sandwich because you cut it in half and now you have your top and bottom.
Because they're so big.
But so it's 2 loaves of bread you're getting for like $5 and something. I'll just say $5.99 when you go to the.
What do you?
Huh?
You got fucking Panera as a sponsor right now or something, bud?
No, that's why. No, I don't. I wish I did, but I would take it. I would
So
definitely
if,
go
if
on
you're
that
listening,
alone. I don't eat a lot there, but I just. My wife a long time
No,
ago
Panera's great.
told me to get the bread there, and I was like, I'm not getting bread from Panera. It's going to be expensive.
no,
And then one day I did it, and it was $5.99. I was like, holy shit, that's what I'm going to keep doing. So every time I can, I just stop by and pick up a loaf, and you know, not that it's healthier, but at least it's fresh.
Well, and yeah, I mean that goes with a lot of things, right? Like not just with bread, but that bread typically has a pretty long shelf life. That's at the store, the one that's wrapped in plastic, like your basic stuff.
Right.
And then you look at something like Panera. If you get Panera bread or bagels or anything like that, like we just got some Panera bagels, and those only last like 2 days, and then they get stale. It's because it's fresh.
Yeah,
it's fresh bread. So if you are going to get it, definitely go for the real deal.
Yeah. So
now what's better?
That was just the
side
thing,
note. Side note, because you're in Georgia, what's better, Atlanta Bread Company or Panera?
So I haven't had Atlanta Bread Company. Well, you know what? I've had it not too long ago in the airport, but it's been a long time.
So Panera.
Probably, I would say Panera. I can't remember, so it's really not fair, but I remember last time I went, it was good, but Panera is just, I don't know. The good thing about Panera is they keep a lot of the stuff on the menu. Like it's there all the time. And then they have other things that they switch off depending on the season. So that's pretty cool, but
yeah, they have a lot of vegetarian options too that I like.
They do, which is another good thing. But at the same time, it's just like anything else, man. It depends on what you get, and it's all about moderation and stuff like that. But we don't eat there a whole lot. I mean, we do some. Christopher likes the mac and cheese from there. So, So he eats that.
Well, and not to interrupt you, but it's like one of those things where if you do eat out, right? Do you want to eat there or do you want to eat at like Outback? Like Panera's probably going to have, I mean, that's kind of like upscale fast food, but it's better than a fast food joint, or at least that stuff's being made fresh. Like it's not like it's getting shipped from different states. That's the problem with eating out, is all that stuff is getting shipped from all over the country.
Yeah.
You just
we don't
know
like
where
to
it's coming
eat
from,
like the normal chains, so we don't.
Right.
We don't really do the Chili's,
You go mom
and
and
the
pops
Texas
with it.
Roadhouse, and all that stuff. I mean, now I'm not saying we don't eat it all there, but we really don't. I mean, that stuff's terrible, but like we have a place up here, it's Sushi Hana. We'll eat some sushi from there and stuff like that. And well, I will. She eats the veggie sushi.
Yeah.
Just the sweet potato sushi, which is actually pretty damn good.
That's my favorite sushi.
Huh?
Yeah. That's my favorite sushi. It's sweet potato.
It's good, man.
Yeah, dude.
But but yeah, like fast food and stuff, that's pretty much a no-go. I mean, Chick-fil-A, we'll pop into a Chick-fil-A. That's for sure.
Yeah, you hear that? You hear that big deal that Beyond Meat signed?
Yeah, with
McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell worldwide.
Really? I heard the other day about McDonald's, and was it by 2023, I think, or something like that? They were going to have, I can't remember.
2025, yeah.
They were going to have.
They're going to have like.
Of,
yeah, it was going to be like 60% of their menu is going to be plant-based.
Yeah, but how healthy is that? How healthy is the plant-based stuff? I mean, you could still make it shitty too.
Same. It's going to be as healthy as the McDonald's burger.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think
Which is
that's
not
where
healthy.
they lure people in. It's like, oh yeah, and now we have plant-based. We're going to jack it up in price, and then once the $15 that everybody's getting paid to flip that burger, it's going to go up in price, and but then you got to look at how healthy is it really for you? Because now you're slamming some fries and also a milkshake and that Diet Coke that keeps you healthy,
That's right.
So,
well, and just on the note of eating out and food and all that. So the one thing that we tried that I think we're gonna do until we decide not to do it anymore, the whole month of February, technically the last week of January we started this, but we've been doing subscription boxes. So now we have, they're not a sponsor, but shout out to Purple Carrot. So Purple Carrot's an all plant-based subscription box. So you can customize your meals. We only do dinner because typically for like lunch, I either do like, a post-workout shake, and she does, some avocado toast. So we don't really need a subscription box for that. And then dinner, usually if we have leftovers, we'll save that for lunch for the next day. So we're doing 3 meals per week. And have you heard of Purple Carrot?
I don't think I have.
So Purple
Look it
Carrot's
up.
great. You should check them out because again, it's all plant-based.
Yeah.
But it's a very sustainable company, meaning when they ship you over, like, for instance, what we have the other night, we had, I think, cauliflower steak with broccolini and lentils.
Yeah.
So, again, all plant-based, but they send you all the ingredients you need, and then you make it. Like, they give you a nice little booklet. It's a color booklet. So if you want to cancel your subscription, you get these really nice recipe books that you can just make shit down the road with. But what's cool about it is, if it calls for a cup of milk, they only send you a cup of milk.
That's
If it calls for a couple cloves of garlic, they send you a whole thing of garlic.
Yeah.
So you can use that for later. But that's the one thing I love most about it is there's no wasting food.
Yeah.
So you're never going to have leftovers unless you don't finish that meal. So we've been doing that. We've been doing 3 meals a week. It's $70 after taxes and shipping a week. Seems pricey, but we did the math versus January when we went grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And we spent probably about $300 every 3 weeks. So a little bit more is what we're spending going grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go grocery shopping, imagine how much food you're wasting. Like me personally, we don't waste a lot of food, but there's been times where it's like, a patch of like cilantro or, garlic or something we have to throw out because it goes bad, or we forget that we ordered it or whatever. Right. So, we've been doing that, and it's been great, man. It's kind of a cool way you can set it as a randomized order. So that's what we do. So every week we don't know what we're getting.
Right.
So you'll just get these little packages, and it'll say, day 1, day 2, day 3. And each package is just a totally different meal that we've never tried. So we've had it for now, this is our 4th week, and we've never had the same meal each night. So it's been great.
Yeah.
And we did that all of February, and it felt like it was going out because, like we talked about earlier, I think there's something about going out to dinner, like you said, where if someone's making it for you, it's definitely more like you feel more, what's the word? Like, free, loose, gluttonous.
Yeah.
Like you just want to, and I think there's something in our DNA where it brings us back to like the Roman times, at least for me.
Yeah.
With my Italian heritage, it's like, I feel like someone's feeding me grapes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go out to dinner, it's like, there's, no holds barred, like it's, a free for all. Like I can eat whatever I want because I'm the king. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
There's something in there when you get servings.
Excuse me. It's a it kind of goes back to like when I was growing up, it was, going out to eat was special. So when you went out, you did it, I mean, it was, you went out and you got whatever you wanted. It was a special time, and it didn't happen often. It was like maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks or something. Now it's a way of life, but still, I think it's, I don't know, it's something in us. Like you said, when you go out, it's just, you have people waiting on you, you want to enjoy the whole, the whole thing, so
yeah, there's something in it for sure.
Look, there's things that they do too. I mean, they put a menu over here that has all the special stuff on it that you can order. They had the little thing that you can look at that had, the little screen that you can look up the desserts that flash on there all the time. So as you're eating, you're seeing it and you don't realize it. And the next thing you know, you've ate, 3,500 calories worth of food. And then you go, yeah, you know what? I'll have one of those chocolate lava cakes too, to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And, so
yeah, that's again, the one thing about eating out is because it's not fresh. Like that's why I love the Purple Carrot thing or subscription boxes, because it's all fresh food is what you're getting shipped to your house versus like at a restaurant to where they don't get a shipment of fish every day unless you go to like a really nice restaurant. So they have to dose that thing with, sodium and they have to freeze it a bunch of times. And that packs on a lot of calories too, which is why you feel so funky after, after you eat out. So people don't take that into account either. And, all the GMOs that are in it, they do that on purpose. So that way you don't feel full.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why after you eat all that bread, you don't feel full. Then you have your side salad, you don't feel full. then you have your appetizer, you still don't feel full.
Right.
And then by the time you get your dessert and you eat it and you pay the check, then you get in your car and now you feel like dog shit. And that's what happens. That's how they get you.
I know. And that, you know, we're I don't know, we're pretty particular in where we eat. So, and it's for that reason, because, you know, when you do finish eating, you just feel like shit. You like, why did I eat that?
Yeah.
It was good because I was super hungry and I know I needed to go by and grab me something, but afterwards you're just you're just a pile of crap. That's what you feel
That's
like.
right.
Man. I mean, it is. I was checking this thing out online too, Purple Carrot. I wasn't not listening. So,
Multitasking, man. You're good at it now.
but I
what
was
you gotta
trying
do.
to pull it up on here, and for some reason, it's not letting me share the screen. I was going to pull it up while you were talking about it, but not sure what's going on. So, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of those things where they ship stuff to you in boxes and things, and some are prepared, some you prepare yourself, and I don't know. Thought about it. What was the cost? Did you mention the cost? Did I miss that?
Yeah. So, I mean, you could do one meal up to 7 meals a day. We do 3 because we figured back in January that we couldn't, like, we didn't want to go hard with it because we might not like it. So we did 3, and then turns out 3 just for the 2 of us is great because every meal, which I didn't know this, but every meal makes 4 servings.
Okay.
So if you do the math, I'm really getting 6 meals a week for $70.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. So it's
Yeah.
not to give these people too much run, but it's
Unless you want to pay us.
yeah, I know. So for a 4 serving plan is if you do 3 dinners per week, that's $100. Well, $99.88, but let's just say $100. Free shipping. So
Yeah, and here's a little secret if you do want to do it. You don't want to do 4 servings. You do the 2 servings because there's only 2 of us. But I'm telling you, when you make the food,
yeah.
it's enough for 4 people.
So even if it's like if you did 2 serving plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 4 people. Well, one doesn't eat a whole lot, but it's 3. Christopher eats a lot. So you got 2 serving plan. Would that be enough for?
Oh yeah.
3?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, because here's what we do: we make the servings, and I mean some meals aren't like, for instance, there's one we had I think last week. It was like a Chipotle jackfruit tacos. I think super good.
Yeah.
And they only give you, if you do the 2 servings, they give you the tortillas, but they only give you 6 tortillas.
Okay.
Because each
Well,
person
it also
gets
it
3
makes sure that you don't
tortillas.
overeat too. That's the purpose of this. It's not like they're going to send you, like you said, they send exactly what you need. So you're not going like to a restaurant and you're ordering all the shit that they pile on the plate and you eat every bit of it. It's just a little bit. And when you eat all of that, it's just enough for you to be good.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, because, Susan's primarily plant-based anyway. But when you eat plants versus like not, you get full. I mean, there's a lot of fiber in plants. So when you eat fully plant-based like this, you definitely, whatever they give you is enough. Because what we end up doing is we do the 2 servings, and then we always have leftovers.
Yeah.
So the next day, she'll have lunch, and I might have a little bit of it, or I might make a salad, and we might have that little bit as a side. But the one thing I'm loving the most is every time they send you these ingredients, like if they send you cilantro or garlic, like those little things that you normally would buy at the store.
Right.
The recipe calls for like 1 clove of garlic, but they send you a whole thing of garlic. And that's with a lot of stuff they do, like lettuce and like they sent one. We did a kale mac and cheese the other day that was fucking retarded. But they send you like a whole thing of kale, like it's a massive bag, but you only use a quarter of a cup.
Mm-hmm.
So that kale now you could turn into 4 lunches for the week. So it's like the little things, and me, I'm like manic with money. So for me, I'm like breaking this thing down, like with my break even, how much it costs us versus my wife doesn't give a shit. She just likes to eat it. But for me, I look at like a huge savings because A, it's getting shipped to my house. B, I'm not wasting food. C, there's no containers. Like there's no they give you everything in like one container essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm getting a bunch of plastic and I'm using all that. So me sustainability wise, it's, it's a little bit more better for the environment. I think that's what I tell myself anyway. So,
Right.
because I'm not buying all these different containers. So, and there's a lot of them out there, but I think Purple Carrot, all the research I did was the highest rated plant-based one. I'm sure there's other plant-based ones out there, but yeah, we love it, man. We're enjoying it. And, it gets shipped to your house. Like you don't have to leave. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'm doing here shortly. So we just started back going to the farmers market downtown. It's at the big park down here. So they have it every Saturday. So we go down there and we get vegetables and stuff that we need. Pick up some other stuff, but they have a wide range of things out there that you can buy. So, but it's all fresh. It's all like people grow, like all the sprouts and stuff like that that we get. Mm-hmm. It's all people grow the stuff organically. So
perfect.
It's good. It's healthy. It tastes good. But then I ran across a guy that, he said they have their own farm. So they have eggs. Everything. Obviously, it's not factory farm because it's their own farm. So they have everything's organically grass fed. So, no, it's not genetically modified and steroids being shot up in it and everything. So, but they have a taste of some of the meat that they have, and it's fantastic. It's good. I mean, meat's good anyway, but so I'm thinking about buying half a cow. Costs like $500. So
oh, you mean like, yeah, okay. So already cut up.
Yeah. So yeah. No, I'm not going to buy the half, and so they do
not a full cow and then cut it up yourself.
Yeah, it's however you want it. So if you want steaks and they do everything for you. But the thing is it's grass fed. It's organically grown. So I'm thinking about going that route because if I do eat that type of protein and mix it in, I mean that right there is saving throughout a whole year. Because if you freeze it, it's fine.
Oh yeah,
but
that's a great idea.
You could save a ton of money. I mean, you think if I haven't bought them from the store in a long time, but I mean, how much is a good steak now? Usually, if in a 2-pack, it's like $30 or $40, isn't it? Something like that. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah, man, that sounds right. If it's good Angus beef, yeah.
Yeah. So
and you're supporting local farmers too by going that route that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's and that's another reason. It's all about helping those guys out too. But you know where it comes from, and I think that's what's key when you're eating stuff. It's not that we've talked about this several times. It's not that you can't have meat, you can't have chicken and beef and all that. You really need to look at where it comes from. If you're eating something and you have no clue, and it's factory farm and it has all this crap in it, and people argue that those people need jobs and you're cutting jobs out and you need to be sustainable for everybody. If you cut it out completely, then you lose food for so many people. But I think it's
yeah, man. I mean, it's like what we go. We talked about McDonald's when we always use it as an example because we were just talking about it. But when they first came out, it was one location and they were getting all their beef. What?
Beef?
All their beef.
I mean, it can be me. It's probably what you need to call it. I mean,
that's
nobody
right.
really knows what the hell it is. So
that's true. But they were getting all their beef. Even that documentary. If you watch The Founder, well, not documentary, but it's a movie with Michael Keaton. Great movie. But they even talk about how it was originally, real beef.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a legit. It was a great little restaurant that was a hole in the wall that they were making beef. And then, as they get more popular, they have to mass produce everything. Yeah. And that's kind of the same thing that we're doing across the world, which is we're just mass producing stuff because we want to satisfy our fat ass American hunger. Yeah. And we need to eat meat. So yeah, I think if we don't necessarily have to cut meat out completely, but we have to change the way we consume it so that way these companies aren't producing these shitty quality meats.
So and on that point, not to interrupt you, but on that point, so do you think it's better to produce on the wide scale that we produce, and no matter the risk, if it causes cancer 20 years down the road, but we're feeding people on a regular basis because, you know, it's the being able to sustain a way of life. You have to have food for everybody, and they mass produce all these, all this food, the cows, the chickens, and whatever else you throw in there. Do you think it's worth doing that on a wide scale? And I'm just talking about United States. I'm not talking about the world. I'm just talking about here.
Right.
So do you think it's worth producing meat, no matter what it is, at that rate, even though it could be unhealthy 10, 15, 20 years down the road and cause cancer and all that stuff? And it's not necessarily causes cancer strictly by itself, but it could be, unhealthy where it comes from,
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the question. It's a great question. I think, especially me being plant-based these last, 2 years, 3 years, that's why I think it's all meshed in with taking care of the earth and, being conscious of what we're doing to Mother Nature. The reason why a lot of vegans are so passionate about this stuff is because as you start consuming more and more plants and whole foods and you get more healthier, I really think it has a lot to do with the way you're, cognitively, the way your brain is when you do that type of stuff. And the reason I bring this up is because you talk about a mass scale of eating meat. It's super interesting how you can make the same, or you can ask that same question in regards to electric vehicles versus gas. So is electric vehicles down the road, is it better for the environment? Yeah, probably, but is gas more harmful, using gas vehicles? Yeah, maybe, but it's not harmful today. You and I don't look at that on a daily basis and say it's an affecting the environment. So, 100 years from now, it very well might. It might change, how the world is, because we want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible, and we have to use an airplane, or we have to use these cars that, take a lot of gas, and we're getting the oil and we're digging into the earth for that. And we don't think about stuff like that. So to answer your question, I think it's very dangerous. I just don't think people have long-term critical thinking skills to make those decisions. More people, and it's politicians, it's the government, it's these people that have short-term ideas, versus like an Elon Musk who's thinking his legacy, and he's thinking 100 years from now, the work he's doing now is going to make Earth better 100 years from now. So if he's the only one, and of course guys like Bezos and these guys are hopping on the bandwagon, but and GM is coming out with electric cars in the next 10 years, and they're going to do their entire fleet electric. I don't know if you heard about that. So he's starting kind of this wave, which is great, but if nothing happens up top, it's kind of a moot point, pun intended, with talking about cows. But that's the problem, is we all have to kind of think that long term. But then, to play devil's advocate, the argument is a cheeseburger is fucking delicious. So
but
it's
could
like,
but could we, if we're producing electric cars and we're going to Mars and we're doing all this stuff, can't we, seems like we could produce a way to, or we could come up with a way to mass produce, whether it's not produce, so grow organically.
That's not factory farming.
Cows, chickens, and stuff like that on a mass scale, healthier than producing them. Now I don't know. I know people will argue and say, well, you have to, the only way you can make a cow grow faster, quicker, and get it out is by pumping it full of steroids and whatever else they put in them. But the problem is they pass that on to us, when you're eating it. And yeah, it may not have effects right now, but 10, 15, 20 years down the road, when you develop some kind of cancer. And again, look, I sent the text to you yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but so the doctor,
that video.
So it's interesting because you don't really think about that, because I think people get so narrow-minded and they get one track mind, whatever you want to say, about being passionate about being vegan and vegetarian and caring for the animals. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for, a humane way of taking an animal if you want to eat it. but he makes a good point. Is it? You really need to look at where the meat comes from. What's called, because everybody goes, oh well, it causes cancer. And look, I've said it too, just saying it. But if you research it and you listen to people like him, he makes good points about how what the people that they study, the group of people that they study, is the average American that eats a ton of beef, chicken, whatever, every day, every week, every month, every year. But what else do they do? What else do they consume? They're also consuming cupcakes, cakes, Little Debbie's. I like to say Little Debbie's. I don't know why it always comes to my mind. Any kind of sugar.
And by the way,
Huh?
those folks don't work out either.
Do what now?
And by the way, those folks that, people are
Yes.
studying, they're not working out either. They're just not naturally, but they're just in the habit of being unhealthy anyway.
Yeah. But all of that stuff, the bad carbs, the smoking, the drinking, there's a lot of stuff that they add to their body that could cause, cancers and sicknesses and diabetes and all that stuff too. So it's really about being healthy also. And then how you consume it, how much you consume. So, I know we
Overall
talk
being
about this a lot and it always seems to it goes more one way than it does both ways. I know we try to keep it both ways, but I think I don't want people to get the wrong idea and think that, it's about not eating meat because, they're saying you can't eat meat because it's unhealthy for you. Because it's not.
Well,
not
it's
totally.
Well, yeah, not totally. But I think we have to start thinking, here's the problem. Here's what I've realized is the more and more I talk about this on each podcast with different people and people that are more plant-based and people that typically eat, an American diet, which is kind of what we're all used to, right? The Chick-fil-A for lunch and the salad wrap for lunch, or excuse me, for dinner, and then maybe you have a little dessert afterwards, like, that American type of thinking. The problem is we don't think, again, more long-term. Like people aren't respecting their body as much as we probably should. And, we buy these things at the store and we go to the restaurants and we don't realize that people are making food for us without us seeing it. They're putting things in boxes without us seeing it. Mm-hmm. They're throwing these labels on these foods that there is an FDA, but FDA isn't regulating everything. If you read 80% of the nutritional facts at the bottom, it says this statement is not authorized by the FDA, or these ingredients are not, checked over by the FDA, whatever it says. And that's like, most of what we eat. So that means it's just not getting regulated. So the stuff you put in your body, all those words you can't pronounce in the nutritional facts, we just don't care for some reason. And that's what's kind of mad about what we're doing to ourselves. We're not thinking more like back in the day when we had to hunt for a saber-toothed tiger, and you might only find that tiger once every 4 months and be able to kill it and cook it and feed your family, if there was fire back then, right, depending on when saber-toothed tigers are. But you had to hunt these animals and cook them, and then you didn't know when your next animal was so you had to pick berries and you had to hunt and forage and you had to find your own food. And there was an appreciation for when you do find that tiger, when you do find that bear. Like when you found it, you looked at it and you probably sat in a fire with your family of 2 and you cried because you finally were able to catch this meaty, full of protein, hearty, long-lasting meal that you can eat for months and months and you could feed your whole village. And there was something special about food, and it was, it was a treat from the gods. But now we look at it like 99 cents. Let me get a burger that I don't even know what's in
convenience.
It's convenience. But that's the thing, is we don't need it. Time and time again, studies come out and our ancestors tell us that we don't need food. I mean, it's true. In fact, if you get dropped off in a desert, you're going to need water first before you need food. You can go 3 days without eating and be perfectly fine. Yeah. But if you go less than a day without water in the desert, you're fucked. Yeah. So that just goes to show you. And again, if you look at the studies, it's because we all, breaking down by molecule, we all were created and started by water. We're 70% water. We're made of water. We need water. We don't need food. You don't need meat. You don't need plants. I mean, there's certain things that we need, vitamins and nutrients. And the reason we need that type of stuff is because over hundreds and thousands of years, our bodies have evolved to these weird, artificial, used to diabetes and used to high cholesterol, and our DNA is used to having Alzheimer's, and we're used to this because we've poisoned our body over years and years and years of not taking care of it.
Yeah.
So I think we have to kind of change that cycle. We have to like get back into fixing our DNA to eating what we need, not what we want.
Yeah.
And, being healthy, and, look at 300, man. Go watch 300 with Gerald Butler. Those guys were
look at
fucking
him
shredded.
now, though. You see the
Right, exactly. Because he ain't treating himself like he did in 300. That's for sure.
But is there a perfect diet? So you have so many people that say you need to eat this diet, you need to eat this diet. I mean, how do we know what is healthy? It's like there's so much shit out there now that's saying this is healthy, you got to eat this way, now this isn't healthy. But it's like, what is healthy? It's almost like they throw stuff at you when it's convenient. And I say they, it could be, government approved, or, whatever website you go to, or some, anybody eating, it could be a trainer or something like that. But one year this is healthy, the next year it's not, and this is healthy. So it's like, how do people even figure out what the hell to do anymore with eating? I know it's easy to go, well, I'm just going to eat a lot of protein, cut my carbs, and cut out sugars, no flour, no processed foods, and then I'll be good. Take my vitamins. And I'll be honest with you, that's probably the healthiest I've ever felt. Eating chicken, fish. I cut out all terrible carbs. I would eat, the carbs I would eat would be the sweet potato. It's basically about all the carbs. I would eat spaghetti every now and then, but I would load up on protein, what I needed for my body, for my weight, and then my calories were up around 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, but they were good, what they call quote unquote clean calories,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then I would just exercise the shit out of my body every day. It was without fail. And I would run. I would, like you said, stretch. And I'm going to tell you, stretching and breathing makes a huge difference in how you feel. It sounds, so a lot of people go, that shit don't work, but it does.
It does.
It helps your brain. It helps you get ready for the morning, and it's it plays a lot into it. So I don't know.
Well,
man.
and I mean, to answer your question, I think we're so smart now. Like humans, we've just come up with all these great ways to find out what we can and can't do. Physically, mentally, with our eating habits, everything. And when I was diagnosed with Crohn's, I really dove into this, but an easy answer would be, because you talked about a personal trainer. And since I used to be a personal trainer, I used to give different diets to different people based off blood type, body fat, weight, height, all those type of things, BMI. Like I would measure it the right way, but that was just 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now that type of way of thinking is ignorant. Let me tell you why. Because if you go to 23andMe and you do the, blood type, or what's that company? I think it's I forget the company I used, but there was a company where you could just send them a couple pricks of your blood. And then once you send them that, they could tell you what food you're allergic to and what your body reacts to, if you have a gluten allergy or, whatever. So if I was to give someone a diet and a plan, like you, for example, if I was to give you a diet plan, I won't know by your weight, your BMI, if you have a gluten allergy, or if, you react weirdly with certain foods. But now we're able to do that type of stuff. But we don't realize, again, we go back to eating out and fast food and all that, you don't know what they're putting in that food. So when you have these different reactions to certain foods, and you're not doing your own research and figuring out what's good for you personally, because if you line up 100 people, not one person is going to get the same results if you give them the same type of diet or the same type of workout regimen.
Right.
Because if you want to gain muscle and all those, if there's 100 people that also want to gain muscle and everyone has the same goals, you know, doing core movements like squats and deadlifts and all those type of things are important. However, if you have a history of, you know, back injuries or something like that, if you're not doing those little research, you can't do squats, you can't do deadlifts. So there's so many factors that are involved with a fitness regimen and eating the right way to get the results you want. And every single person is different. So if we're going on YouTube and one guy says, hey, you can burn fat doing this, that guy's an idiot. Because what he should say is, depending on your body type and depending on how your body reacts to this and depending on your eating habits and you follow this regimen, it's possible that you could lose weight.
Right.
That's what every fucking person should say. Like if you watch the YouTube videos I put out, I go, hey, listen, this does not work unless you follow, you know, proper eating habits and talk to a physician.
Right.
I say that in every single one of my workout videos because that's the fact. I mean, that's just what it is. And that goes with everybody. And that's the problem is we're so lazy to do our own research, which is crazy
everybody
because
wants
this is your body you're talking about.
If they're working out and they
fix.
have to hit a lot of goals, they want it done next week. It doesn't work
That's
that
right.
way. I mean, you have to. It takes time. I mean, if you want to sculpt your body and you want like you just want to be ripped, it takes a while, and it's not just working out. You first of all you got to get your diet correct, and then you got to stick on that diet, and it's a way of life. I know you say it so much, it gets annoying, but it's the truth. It's a way of life. You can't live like that for a month and then go, I don't see any results. Some people are going to see it quicker. I see it quicker than a lot of people. So like I can start working out and I do immediately start to see results in that week. I start to see things, but it's because to me, I think it's because not just my genes, but the way I keep up with, you know, I do exercise from time to time. So it's not like I let myself get to 250 pounds and then I want to drop 100 pounds, you know, to get back to an ideal weight, you know? So
you get that muscle memory going.
Yeah. So you just got to keep in mind that if you want to work out, it's a lifestyle. Just continue to do it, you know, forever. Really. That's
right.
when you start to see progress. And once you start to see progress, you don't want to stop. Then when you miss a day, you get pissed off, you know, because you don't want to miss a day, you know.
Yeah.
So
and that goes with everything too, right? It's like we have Hulu and we don't pay for the premium because we don't mind the commercials. But the second the ad comes on, we want to look at our phone and we need like some type of interaction. I can't watch an ad. Like it's that type of short-term thinking that we've been talking about this whole time with we're not thinking 20 years from now how the earth reacts to our way of thinking. You know, just like we're not thinking 20 years from now what our body looks like, you know, when we work out every single day. Yeah. We want results now. We want, you know, 2-day fucking shipping is too long. We want it the next day on Amazon. Like it's
before it was 7 to 10 days on shipping, and now it's like 2 days, and it's like you can't wait for it. Everything's immediate.
And by the way, we were fine with that.
Yeah.
There was a point in time where we thought, I get my package next week. Oh my God, that's amazing technology. And now it's like, it's so funny too. Like as we're talking through this, I'm reminded of, you know, I'm doing my backyard, right? And I'm creating this big brick oven pizza. And there was one ingredient I was missing was high temp mortar mix that I have to put on for the inside of the oven. So that way it doesn't, you know, obviously it heats up and it doesn't go through the brick. So I ordered it on Amazon, and obviously I'm a Prime member, represent, and I didn't get it in 2 days. After 2 days, it said, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but it says, sorry, your package is running late.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 days from shipping.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you'll get a notification saying, hey, sorry, it's not going to show up. It's running late because of weather and COVID. It gives you all these excuses. Oh, yeah. So it took a week to get here, and I was furious.
Yeah.
Like,
because you paid, you don't pay for 2 days, but you are paying for 2 days.
Yeah. But again, who the fuck am I? Like we're in the middle of a pandemic.
And you're one person in Florida.
I'm one person in Florida. It's high temp mortar mix. This is not important to my life. Like I bought this house. It's a 30-year mortgage. I have plenty of time to live here. Like I don't need this brick oven pizza tomorrow. But because I'm such a selfish ass human, this is where I get frustrated. And we all do that from time to time. And it's just so funny because we don't Like I didn't realize it at the time, but as we're talking about this, now I'm realizing, man, I was such a prick. Like, cause I'm sending out messages to the company. I'm like, what's taking so long? I don't understand. Is it because of weather? Like I'm looking for a reason when really I just need to step back and say, I can't believe the world is so amazing that I was able to press a button and I was able to get someone to ship something to my house, whether it's a week or 2 weeks or 2 days. That's amazing. And I'm using it all on my phone. From my desk. I'm sitting on my ass, butt ass naked. I'm ordering things. Like,
it wasn't long
we don't
ago where
appreciate-
people wouldn't do that. They're like, I don't know, it's kind of shady. I can just go to the store. I can look for it. You know, now that's how everybody does it. I do it religiously. I mean, unless it's the only, you know, I guess the only thing I wouldn't order for myself would probably be any kind of clothes like that you want to fit right. I mean, like if it's some random T-shirt or hoodie or something that you just like, you know what, it looks pretty cool. You grab it. But if you want clothes that fit right, I'm not going to order that online. I'm not going to order unless you know the shoes. I don't know. I don't like to order anything. I like to go try it on. But everything else, gear, all that stuff, like
ordered online.
Best Buy. I mean,
but have you ever done this? Have you ever done? Because now I'm in this habit where I'll go like window shopping and I'll try stuff on, and then I'll go look on Amazon, or if I'm at Dick's, I'll try it on Dick's Sporting Goods, and then I'll see it at Dick's. I'll try on the shoes, whatever, and then I'll go home and I'll order it from home because it's usually $10 to $15 cheaper,
and just wait for it.
It just gets shipped to my house.
No, but I'll look on Best Buy if there's something I need or want. I'll look on Best Buy if they got it. I won't
go to the store.
There's times where I haven't ordered it because I'm like, okay, it's going to be in stock soon, so I'll wait and then I'll purchase it.
Well, that's the other thing. If you order it online, typically if it's out of stock at your store, you can always get it online. That's what's great because it's coming from multiple locations.
But sometimes sometimes they'll ship it and they'll say it'll be here next day, which is crazy. Like I've ordered stuff and it's literally tomorrow it'll be here. That's insane. But I do have an Amazon shipping place too. If I order off Amazon, I have an Amazon shipping place 2 miles from my house. A massive warehouse.
We just got one that opened up.
Yeah, but Best Buy, I'll go on there. I did it before. I'll buy it. Like it'll say only 2 left or only 1 left. I'll buy it and then I'll go by and I'll either have them drop it off in my truck when I drive by, or I'll walk in and walk to the front where it says pick up and I'll pick it up there. I mean, look, the things you can do now. I mean, nowadays it's like that's no big deal, but 5 years ago, just 5, 6, 7 years ago, you couldn't do that,
dude.
You know,
hell no, we didn't even know that was possible.
No, nobody was bringing shit out to you. I don't know how long ago was that. I think Walmart. I know Walmart did it, but it wasn't like
Walmart
massively
that
done.
pickup thing.
It's been recent.
I mean, now just with the pandemic, everyone's doing it. It's. I mean, I've seen. What place was it? I think it was Office Depot. I went to Office Depot to get some stuff for work, and they eliminated half the handicap spots.
Really?
And now those are pickup spots.
Pickup spots, yeah.
It's crazy, dude. Like they realize that you're getting less handicapped people than you are, less people in wheelchairs than you are people that pick up stuff up. Like, so they had to recreate their entire parking lot. It's madness.
Yeah, look, nothing wrong. I mean, nothing against handicapped people at all, but there's always like 100 parking spaces up front, and only a quarter of them are used.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Only thing I get mad about is when like yesterday, somebody pulls into it just because they don't want to walk an extra 30 feet. So somebody without a handicap plate or a sticker goes and parks into a.
You should go to jail.
You get out and you're walking fine. It's like, come on, man.
Come on.
You mentioned earlier about the electric cars. So Tesla, man. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean,
I'll tell you what I think. I already reserved mine.
Which one?
The S.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to talk to the wife. If she doesn't hear, I'll probably talk to her before she listens to this. But
well, here's what I did. I don't know if you're open to this, but I'm getting a little squirrely because I have 2 Hondas. Mm-hmm. Both are pretty much almost paid off. I got like, I don't know, $8,000 left on them, $6,000 left, something like that. Low miles, obviously, because now that I've worked from home for the last 5 years, I got like 50,000 miles on my 2015 Honda
Yeah.
CRV. That's a great car. Good gas mileage, good resale value. So Blue Book on it matches up. I'm going to end up trading in one car, my Civic,
Yeah.
for the Tesla. And then I'm going to go to Carvana, and now they have a new, they have trade-in deals, but they also have, you could just sell your car and they could pick it up.
Right.
So I did the math on that. You put in your VIN number and they give you a quote, and I'll end up selling it, breaking even, so I won't own anything left on it. So we'll just have one car, one Tesla. And that way I'm not putting any money down because I'm trading in one vehicle, but our payments will probably be like $350 a month.
Mhm.
So instead of having two vehicles that are close to $600 a month, plus you factor in gas, all that stuff,
Yeah. Insurance.
insurance, all that shit. I mean, it adds up. So I think out the door we're probably spending like almost $1,000 for two cars and two things of insurance, probably closer to 800. But now we'll just have one vehicle, and with Teslas, you're not paying for gas,
Yeah.
right? Because it's electric, as long as you get the charging station at home. And yeah, man. So we're just gonna go that route, $350 a month, and then we'll probably save, I don't know, for 6 more months, maybe 8 more months, and then we'll buy another Tesla. But that way we're taking that 6 to 8 months to save that $400 a month, 400 times almost a year, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're talking over $4,000, and you take that $4,000, you put a down payment on another Tesla, and then boom. So that's
Yeah,
what we're
we
doing.
were talking about the other day because of the new position that I have. I really won't be driving anywhere. Everywhere I go is going to be flying. But
That's right.
we started thinking. I told her, I said, "What if we just get rid of both vehicles and just buy one really nice? I mean, we have nice vehicles now, but it's like, why don't we just get rid of both and buy one really nice vehicle?" But the more we thought about it, it was like, well, it makes sense with the fact that I don't have to drive anywhere for work, really. But then it's like,
But what if you both need it for something now?
what do we do if what if we have to go separate places at the same time? So what do we do?
Yeah. Right.
So that killed that idea, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to it because, like you said, I was like, man, we could cut out, possibly $700 a month,
right?
Maybe more than that, depending on the gas. I mean,
Definitely more, yeah.
so,
Well, my wife gave me the same argument, but I shot it down quick because I told her, I go, listen, if there's any time to have one vehicle,
yeah,
now's the time. So I'm not saying it's going to be forever, especially because we're going to start trying to have kids. So once we have a kid, we're going to need two vehicles for sure.
yeah,
But there's going to be no other time in history to where we'll physically only need one vehicle now. Now we can get away with having one car because we do everything together for the past. I wish I did this a year ago,
yeah,
because then it would really make sense.
mm-hmm.
So even if it's for 6 to 8 months, the amount of money you can save there and put a down payment on the vehicle,
yeah,
that thought process to me makes more sense, because I could buy two cars and I could trade in both vehicles right now today and get two Teslas, and my monthly payments will be the same.
mm-hmm.
But the caveat is you buy one vehicle and then you take that same amount of money that you would normally spend on that second car and you put that into a savings account, and then you take that money and that's the down payment for your second vehicle 6 months from now, a year from now. Now your payments are going to be even lower because now you're putting down more money than you normally would with the trade-in, because the trade-in, you're not putting down shit.
Yeah.
So I did the math on that on a Tesla, and that's what we're going to do, because that, you're right. We're not going to drive it, but also too, not only do we fly everywhere, but I'm very lucky. I mean, I don't know about you, but with my position, if I wanted to Uber 45 minutes away, that'll get approved.
Yeah.
So if I needed to,
Mm-hmm.
like, red zone, I got to go now within 5 minutes, it's an emergency. If I needed to, I can Uber somewhere and expense it.
I was
fortunate.
I was thinking about like if I had to go somewhere or had to do something for any length of time and I had to rent a vehicle, and even if I did a decent vehicle
Same
and
thing.
it was between $200 and $300 and it's a one-time payment that month,
Mhm.
and you don't do it again for another month or two, you're still saving money.
Or per day, bro. Think about it per day. Like if you needed to rent a car from Enterprise, it's $11 a day.
Yeah.
with our company discount. Like there's, and I don't think it's gonna be, at least with the work.
Yeah.
Like I don't see it being to a point where you have to do something.
Yeah.
Because they're still so funky to where it's like, hey, like we talked about ASM yesterday. Even if we had like a company meeting, I think if you said, hey, I don't feel comfortable,
Yeah.
you'd be okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. We thought about it, and I've been thinking about the Tesla and everything with it. You know, it's a cool car for one, and they do have an SUV. You know, we thought about, but I don't know how big it is,
right?
huh?
Oh, it's the X. Yeah, it's big. I was gonna do that too, but it was close to $60,000. The one I wanted.
Unfortunately, we
yeah,
have to have something like that. So
yeah. No, if you were to do one vehicle, and if you were to the SUV is the way to go.
yeah,
That thing's fucking dope, dude.
yeah, I know.
It's as big as, what do they compare it to? I think they compared it to the, not Silverado,
Suburban,
in terms of
Tahoe.
maybe the Tahoe, in terms of like capacity inside. Because that's the cool thing with that is there's no engine.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
so it's just the
and
batteries. So
I think
it
the biggest
takes
thing
up
for
less
me is
space.
how long. You know, the charge is what 350 miles or something like that. I think.
I think that's on the like the S is only 300,
Yeah.
and then I think the X is close to 4. It's like 360 and some change, maybe. You know, but again, I also think of it like, where are you going to take long trips? You know,
We're taking a
Like
long trip
right-
this weekend.
yeah. So if you're going to use a Tesla, that'd be cool because there's charging stations, and from the research I did, if you go from, let's say you have like 80% battery left, your Tesla starts mapping out when you put your end destination. It maps out where you have to stop to charge, which is pretty rad. So like, you know, if you're going from Orlando to Georgia, it'll actually map out on the way there's 15 charging stations, and you say yes, and it'll make sure that it stops before you need a charge.
Yeah.
And then you stop it, and then the way the battery is designed is it'll charge immediately for 30 minutes, and that gives you 70%. Or you can take 2.5, 3 hours to get full capacity.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem, is it's 30% to charge the front half of the battery, and you'll get 80% charge. So you got to wait 30 minutes as opposed to gas, which is
Yeah, but you
2 seconds,
grab
right?
you something to eat. You know,
Sure.
stop, use the bathroom, let the dog out,
Yeah.
let the kids out. You know,
And how long are you doing those trips, right? Like how often is it going to be a hassle to do that?
it's not. It's just making the excuse of,
It's just like we said, you're so used to it.
yeah. That's
Like
all.
we're
it
so
is,
used to it.
You know.
We're so used to it. And you know, these fucking Teslas, bro, like my buddy has one. He let me hop in it a few months back. But you know, like these screens they're 22-inch, I think, like iPads.
I
right,
know
for the
they're
dashboard.
massive. Yeah, I know.
They're mass. So you link up your phone to it. Like he's watching movies and Netflix on it and shit when he charges. Like it's not. Your life is not horrible when you're charging your Tesla. It's
No,
pretty.
it's not. It's not. It's not
pretty
really.
sick.
It's. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's
not bad.
Just depends on.
It's the life, man.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do.
Bro, and that X that you're talking about,
I'm
it's
looking
got
at it
that
now.
moonroof.
God, I want to pull it
It's
up
got that.
on the screen, and it's not letting me. The Model X is 340 miles is the range. So 1,020 horsepower, which is crazy, and 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds.
Crazy. Oh, and by the way, those X's, there's a unique technology in there, and I'm sure it'll say something, but it's impossible to roll over. Like
Oh, yeah?
impossible. Like you can watch videos online if you just Google Tesla X rollover videos, and they're hit by
Yeah.
trucks. They're forced with cranes to roll over, and there's a setting. It's almost like a what's that fucking pendulum type of thing, where literally once it hits any side, it automatically goes to its wheels. So
Yeah.
you'll never roll over. It'll always end up on 4 wheels. It's madness. It's proprietary too.
So,
like you know, Tesla is the only one that has that. It's crazy.
yeah.
So super safe. That's what's crazy. And you know, you get the thing. It's like a couple $1,000. You hook it up at home, there's even something where I'm really trying to get squirrely, and I'm trying to do. I got this company. Tesla does it as well, but they're a little bit more expensive. But you can do solar panels on your roof. But actually, the shingles, each individual shingle is a solar panel.
Yeah.
Have you seen these things?
I haven't.
So the whole roof
It's
is
basically a solar panel.
Is a solar panel. So I mean, it could store months of power, and then naturally, of course, you can charge your electric vehicle that way as well. So, and you know, being in Florida, we have so many hurricanes and power outages and all the construction and all the shit that constantly goes on in Florida. Imagine if you had a power outage in your whole neighborhood,
Yeah.
but you have those solar panels that are constantly storing energy. So it stores it into a generator, and you'll never lose power, and you don't have an electric bill.
Except the people in Texas that it didn't work too well.
Yeah.
They froze their ass off. I mean, it's not funny, but it is that,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
you
I mean, that's still
elect to get
you know,
solar panels, and then next thing you know, you have the worst winter in history and no sun and
Yeah,
didn't have enough power. But again, there's a lot of people without power anyway, so,
that's right.
you know.
Well, and we could easily, you know, that could happen in Florida, right? Where, you know, we could, God forbid, have some type of air pollution that blocks the sun from everything, and then solar panels are stupid. But if
Yeah.
that's the case, then I think we have bigger problems than electric.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really, you know, it saves money. Is it better for you? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, you know,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's like anything else, right? I mean, long term, you got to do the math on it and see if it makes sense for you.
yeah, that's the thing. If you're
So-
saving money, don't just do it to do it. I mean, I think you
Right.
do get a tax break off of it, but if you're not going to save
Yeah.
energy costs every month, you know, they
Mhm.
always talk about you could save it, like, I guess it's cuts it in half or more sometimes, but, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that, but I mean, our electric bill isn't too bad right now. You know, I don't know what
Yeah.
y'all's is, but ours is not that bad right now.
That's like close to $200 a month.
Yeah, see, we pay $130 to $150 somewhere
Yeah.
in there, and then during the summer, for like a month or two, it always climbs up close to about $200.
Sure.
So, you know, but
Yeah, I always factor in 200 is whatever my max is for the summer.
yeah,
That's what I set aside for each month.
yeah,
But you know, like solar panels. I mean, let's say it's going to cost 15 grand to do it, and if you were to do it tomorrow, you pay 15 grand. But you're spending $200 per month normally. So what is that per year?
$2,400.
$2,400. So $2,400, you're going to get back that solar panel money in 5 years.
yeah,
That's how you got to think of it. But after that, because day one of having solar panels, you don't have an electric bill. So you never have to work with an electric company. You don't have to worry about your price fluctuating because
Yeah.
you don't have a bill. It doesn't exist. Now, if you don't have 15 grand, you're going to have to finance that. And of course, you're going to have monthly payments there. But let's say if you had 15 grand, you pay that, then you're in a 30-year mortgage for your house. The first 5 years, you break even, right? After the 5th year. So from year 6 to year 30, you will never have an electric bill.
yeah.
So you're saving $200 a month for 24 years.
Yeah.
That's how you got to look at it. But again, that type of thinking is challenging for some people.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like-
and
it's like the same-
but,
it's-
a lot
it's
of
the
people,
same
like
people
you
that-
said, though, you mentioned you got to look at can you buy it outright, or are you gonna have
That's
a
right.
$15,000 payment depending on how long you can stretch that out. So
Right.
15
Well, like you know Catalano.
Yeah.
So he just did it, and he's paying per month, but you know he's paying $100 a month for his solar panels
Yeah.
until that 15 grand's paid off. So again, if your bill's normally $180, you're
Yeah.
still saving $80, and you have, and see, in Florida it's a different beast
Yeah.
because literally you can charge those solar panels to collect that energy. And I think what he was telling me, I just talked to him the other day. He's like, if I collect in 12 hours of sun for my solar panels for a week, I can power the entire house for a month
Yeah.
without using aggressive amounts of power. Obviously, just the basic lights on and off, shit like that.
Yeah.
But if the power went out, he would be good for a month
Yeah.
just by a week of sun. So that's powerful. But again, that's Florida, right? It's a different beast. In California, obviously we're having the same conversation in Seattle. This doesn't apply to you. Like you're
Right.
fucked. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's one of those things
Yeah.
where you got to look at, you know, what makes sense for you. And, you know, the challenge I see is, you know, we could do this across the board, right? Like if every single company like a Tico or FPL, fill in the blank, whatever your electric company is, if they had some sort of, you know, plan B to collect solar power, and maybe we only use that solar power to power fucking, you know, restaurants in Tampa, and you give those tax break to local restaurants and stuff. Now maybe they'll lower the price of their menu and their drinks, and you know, that's helping the consumer. Like there's a way where we could do it if we wanted to, where we're not sucking so much power.
Yeah.
That way you and I don't have to do it. There's a way that it could be done where I think it could be beneficial to the earth. Because the guys like in Seattle, obviously they can't do stuff like this. So maybe people in California, maybe those big companies that work in Seattle, maybe they plant solar panels in California, collect that energy, and, you know, send it over to that other company. Like there's got to be a way where hopefully people smarter than us are thinking of these type of things, because if the power goes out, man, you've seen it like in New York, and I've seen it tons of times when there's hurricanes. When the power goes out, the world fucking stops. Like there's a problem.
Yeah. Well, you don't
And-
realize how much what you use it
We
for.
use it.
You know.
Right.
I mean,
And you
just
know,
the
the guys in
refrigerator
Texas,
alone, you could lose
yeah.
everything, and you have no way. You know, that's why I
right.
said people rush to get milk and shit like that. And it's like, what do you even do if the electricity goes out? Now you got to buy a shit ton of ice,
Exactly.
keep it in a cooler, put your milk and your orange juice and all that stuff in there so it don't go bad. Your meats and things, you know. So yeah, I mean, look, it has its upsides. There's some downsides to it, but
Sure.
it has its upsides. It's just like everything else. There's nothing perfect. You just got to figure out if it works for you. If it works
That's
for
right.
you, do it. Give it a shot. You know, I mean, I have seen houses. I've driven out where you see houses that have solar panels. So
Yeah.
I mean, people are doing it. I don't know if it's going to happen in our lifetime. I think, you know, way down the road, it'll be a point to where it'll be commonplace. You know, a lot more people have it. But I think that's when
You
they
know-
get more of a hold of I don't know how well it really works and how it could, you know, benefit
That's right.
you. And benefit, I don't know if it benefits everybody else or not, but if it can benefit you and you can save some money and it makes sense for where you're at, like you said, because you don't want to do it in a place that it rains, you know, 80% of the year. So, or I wouldn't think you would, but
You know what I'd like to see that I think the future is going towards that's more practical than this, because we don't really use cars that much right now, but I think they're a big part of what we do. I was reading this article where they're in talks, and it's going to be very challenging, but to have solar panels on vehicles, to start designing cars where they're made of solar panels. Now, it doesn't give you a lot of power, but if it's an electric car and it has solar panel technology on top of it, it'll give you that extra 20 miles, 30 miles to get you past the charge. I think that's super interesting because, you know, again, it's less gas we're spending. It's less energy you're charging your vehicle less. The sun is just such a powerful resource. It's kind of crazy that we're not, you know, it's never gonna, when we can't use the sun, that means the world ending.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
Like it's never gonna run out.
There's people
you know?
way smarter than us they have stuff in the works and they're doing it. And,
How dare you?
I mean, your
How dare
Elon
you.
Musk and people like that. I mean, they're doing crazy things. And in another 10, 15, 20 years,
Who knows?
that you don't know it. Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know.
It's cool, man. It's exciting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff and that's what, you know, brought it to the Tesla thing is it's incredible what that car can do, you know, as far as driving by itself and parking itself and doing all that stuff. And it has a lot of cool features. And if you think about it, you know, $60,000, yeah, it's a lot of money for a vehicle, but what that vehicle can do for $60,000, it's not too bad.
No.
You know,
I mean, even the base that I'm getting, and I'm going to deck it out and, you know, extend its life a little bit and include self-driving. It's less than 40 grand
yeah.
is the one I'm getting. So it's
Yeah, I
that's
mean, you can go
nothing.
buy
That's-
you can go
that's a
buy a
Honda Civic.
Lexus GX, and it's going to cost you $60,000, and you just get a normal vehicle with. I mean, it has had some bells and whistles in it, but
Well, dude, like even the brand new Corolla that just came out, the 2021. I don't know if you've seen that advertisement. It looks cool.
yeah.
I mean, it looks like the basic Corolla, but it's got like, it's got self park. It's got Alexa built into it. Like it's all this bullshit that people think, the companies think people want. But
Yeah.
even that is close to 40 grand, and it's gas powered. It's like, dude, that's not the future. Like people don't want that. It's like that's an expensive vehicle, man, for 40 grand. And you're getting a
expensive
basic
for a Corolla. I mean,
for a Corolla, man.
my truck only cost about $5,000 or $6,000, maybe $7,000 more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like my buddy got that new Ford, or not a Ford, sorry, the Jeep, the new Jeep.
Yeah,
You watch the commercial. It's that brand new dope ass Wrangler that came out. It looks sick, man. It looks awesome. But that thing's
the one
60
with
grand.
the truck looks like a truck.
It looks like a truck. Yeah, it's got like the half back, half front.
Yeah, see, I mean, I drive a Chevrolet. It's 4-wheel drive. It's off-road package. It's got everything in it.
Yeah,
but it didn't cost that much, and it's got everything I need. But that's what I'm saying.
That
I mean,
new Jeep is 60 grand, bro. Come on. So that new Jeep is 60 grand. It's like, get out of here with that. Come on.
You could get a Rubicon cheaper than that.
Rubicon's
It's like,
nice.
what do you need in it? I mean, you look at things and it's like, do you really need that stuff in it?
World War III, bro. That's why you got it. World War III.
I mean, I do like the Jeeps. I do like the Rubicons. I do like those. We've looked at those for a long time.
They look cool.
I like those a lot.
Yeah, they got the snorkel too. You get the decked out one. You can add the snorkel to it and the rollover cages. But and again, I use that as an example because we just talked about it. But the Jeeps are great because they have the rollover cage, so to protect you. But the Tesla, for cheaper, will literally not roll over. It's impossible, the technology that's in it. So the rollover cages are cool, but what's cooler, being rolled over on the bottom of a mountain?
I rolled over in a
being
Jeep
stuck?
before.
Or, of course you did. So did I.
It was like 6 or 7 times though. We like flips.
Yeah.
It was not fun. So
Yeah, I rolled over in like a 97 Jeep Wrangler. My buddy had one.
yeah.
And what's better? Do you want to be upside down in a Jeep Wrangler, but you're protected kind of? Or do you want to be in a Tesla where you're always going to land on your four wheels?
Yeah.
It does look cooler in a Wrangler.
I don't know. It's just really, I guess is it practical or not? I mean, we like the Jeep for the look and the feel, but it's not really practical for what we need, even though we'd love to have it. That's why we have a truck now. I bought another truck. I've always had a truck, but we need it because you don't know when the hell you're going to need, you got to haul stuff around, and I'm not putting shit in a Tesla. That's another thing. It's like, you got to, I don't know. We got to have a truck. So
got to have a plan B.
We have we're talking about getting rid of her vehicle and getting something else, but I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know how this thing goes. I'm probably going to get it, I don't know, maybe May. It's most likely when I'm going to close the deal on it.
I'm telling you, I'm definitely, I'm gonna put it in front of her and see what she says, see what she thinks.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, fuck, bro. Even saving up for, we were even thinking about this. Even just saving up for 4 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
Because if you just have one car for 3 months, you power through for 90 days.
Yeah.
You save $1,200, and then you take that $1,200. Maybe you grab $1,000 from the bank. You put down $2,500 on another car.
Yeah.
You can always. It's just that's what upset me the most when I was doing the math on all this. It's like, if I knew it was going to last this long, the pandemic, I would have literally sold. You don't know exactly, but that's what pisses me off. I would have sold both cars, right?
Yeah.
I would have bought one car, and then I would have sat for a year saving this money. Dude, I filled up my tank maybe 10 times in a year.
Yeah. Look,
That's
her car's a
fucking
2019. It just broke 13,000 miles.
It's fucking awesome. I would sell the shit out of that car right now.
I mean, that's that's the thing is, like you said, if you knew it was going to be that long, I would have, we didn't even have to buy it, to be honest with you.
You didn't have to. Yeah, that's a good point.
If we knew it was going to come out, but the thing is, you don't know. So, it was only going to last 2 weeks, and it didn't. So
that's the thing. This is what I know. I know that for the rest of the year, it's going to be just like this.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. So if I could save money on one vehicle from now, what are we in? March? From
yeah,
March
beginning, yep.
until the rest of 2021, almost a year.
Yeah.
If I could save $400 a month, hell yeah.
I know that's kind of the way I was looking at it, but it also it just goes to the to what I was talking about earlier. It's that one or two times where you have to have two vehicles, and you go, "What the hell am I supposed to do?"
Yeah, because then you're fucked. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So I don't know. Probably just trade it in, get something, bite the bullet, pay the $60,000 for a Tesla,
Yeah, man.
the big one, and
All right, cool. And then you can have it self-drive and come down to Florida. Be fun.
I mean, yeah. Hey, you never know. I'd feel.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I think she would like it, but we'll have to see.
She would.
She's
What you
got
got
a
to do is
mindset
you can go online because you're probably already on there. Just go online and request a trade-in.
Yeah.
That's what I did. You request a trade-in, they give you a value, and then you'll get an email or text back, and they'll say, hey, when do you want to set up a test drive? And they'll actually bring the car to you, and you test drive it for the day, and they'll come
Tesla?
back and pick it up. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You get her in that car,
I know.
she will listen to anything you say, bro.
Oh, she
those
won't.
cars-
Yeah,
have you-
look, man, I know that. I know that for a fact. I mean,
Because I have my buddy took me in one, and ever since then,
yeah.
I've been doing what I can to make sure I get it. They are just a different thing.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the X, and it's sharp, man. I mean, and they're
That moonroof
fast as
gets
hell.
you, bro.
They're super
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
That
That moonroof is what got me for the X.
the what?
Like the moonroof, the glass roof.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's just sexy, dude.
It
You don't
is.
need a sunroof. You just look up and you
Nothing.
open that bad boy up.
I know.
Forget it.
I don't know. I'm going to talk to her about it, see what she says. I'm on there
Do
now.
that.
I'm going to check out some pricing and see what it what it comes out to, and
Yeah, man.
I
Do
don't
it
know.
up. Do it up.
So, but yeah. So anyway, we've been
Well,
at
this
it.
was a good.
Been at
This,
it for a
this was
while. So
yeah. This was a good, healthy, sustainable, environmental friendly chat.
I know. Kind of all over the place, but it's a good one though.
Yeah. That's the
Um,
best podcast. The ones that make no sense.
I know. There it is, Model X right there, man. Yeah. It's expensive.
that's
but
sexy.
God, it's pretty cool. Charging
Yeah, man.
station at home.
Yeah, and I think you could, when you buy it, I think you can work that into the price, if I remember.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like $3,000 or something, and you get one at the house. Or you could just not get one, and then just, if there's like a charging station like across the street
Yeah.
from your house, that makes sense. But it's just worth it to get one at the house.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So we'll check it out. But anyway, well, cool, man. Well, I guess we can wrap it up, and we're heading to the mountains tomorrow morning, so we got a lot to do today. So
Yeah, dude. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk soon. Need to get one out for eating
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, shout out to eatingbothsides.com.
Yeah.
Visit
So-
that. By the way, side note, I did start an Anchor account. I got the URL at least for Eating Both Sides. So there's, I don't know if you remember, like 3 months ago, we did a pod about eating both sides. It was the first one. I recorded that. So I'm going to slice that up and make that our first episode. I'll probably do
Okay.
that next week.
Yeah.
And then, if you got anything else, any other content, I figured we just throw a bunch of shit up there, see what sticks.
Yeah, we can do that. And then,
Yeah.
hopefully we get some people listening to that. And I mean, I know people are interested, but we'll see how it goes. So start marketing that out there and get going with it, man. Get some.
2021's our year, bro.
I know. Got some people I got one or two people I think lined up that would, that'll do a podcast for it. So just talk about some eating healthy and all. And that's really what it's about. It's about eating healthy,
That's it.
and figuring out what's good. I don't think there really is a right way to do it. I think we're still learning and figuring it out. So
Yeah.
and it's going to continue to be that way. But
Well, remember, just 20 years ago, we thought cow's milk was what we needed every day to build our bone strength.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago. And then we realized 5 years ago that we were being lied to. So we're learning new things every day.
Yeah, man, I know. I mean, you don't have to have it. They tell you to get off of it when you're little. Anyway, they say you don't need to give it that anymore. Now the baby needs regular food and drinks and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's all personal choice too, but we'll see where it goes, and it's going to be interesting as we go along and do the research and document everything. So
Yeah, dude, can't
so
wait.
cool. Yeah, I know, man. So
Yeah, shoot this over to me. Thanks for having me on the show.
yeah, no problem. It's always good, man. It's always good to talk.
Yeah, and then of course I'll cut that out of mine, and then I'll say, "Hey, man, thanks for being on my show."
Yeah. Hey, double dip. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Well, peace out. Tell the wife we said hello, and hopefully we'll be down there soon to see you and hang out a little bit. So, all right.
Sounds good, brother. Enjoy the mountains.
All right, man. We'll see you. Peace.
I do. Later.